In the ruins of what was once a vibrant city, now a battleground scarred by the apocalypse, ZombiGuardian, also known as Dr. Alex Mercer, faced his greatest challenge yet. A faction led by a charismatic yet ruthless leader, known only as the Sovereign, had risen. They sought to exploit the infection, using the infected as weapons against rival survivor groups, aiming to establish dominion over what remained of the world. The Sovereign had learned of Mercer's unique abilities and saw in him a threat to his own power. Using survivors as bait, he lured ZombiGuardian into a trap, a desolate arena where the confrontation would unfold. As Mercer stepped into the open, he could feel the eyes of hundreds upon him, survivors and infected alike. The Sovereign appeared, his presence commanding attention, flanked by his most skilled fighters, humans who had somehow been enhanced to perform at near superhuman levels. "You challenge the order of the New World, Mercer," the Sovereign declared, his voice booming across the silent expanse. "Your existence is an anomaly, one that must be rectified." Mercer responded not with words, but with action. He summoned his control over the infected, directing them to stand down, to show that he was not there to fight, but to protect. The battle that ensued pushed Mercer to his limits. He fought not to kill, but to subdue, to save the infected from themselves and the survivors from harm. His enhanced strength and agility allowed him to navigate the battlefield with precision, but even he could not be everywhere at once. The emotional toll of fighting those he sought to save weighed heavily upon him, and the overuse of his powers began to drain his energy, leaving him vulnerable. In a moment of desperation, Mercer tapped into a depth of power he hadn't known before. With a concerted effort, he shattered the device controlling the infected, freeing them from the Sovereign's influence. Yet, this act came at a cost. Mercer collapsed, weakened from the exertion, his body requiring time to regenerate.
The survivors seized the opportunity, turning the tide against the Sovereign and his forces. As the dust settled, Mercer realized the confrontation was more than a battle for survival. It was a testament to his role in this new world. His powers, while formidable, were not unlimited. His weaknesses were as much a part of him as his strengths. But in his moment of vulnerability, the survivors did not turn against him. Instead, they rallied to his side, recognizing ZombiGuardian not as a threat, but as a symbol of hope, a guardian who had sacrificed his own well-being for their safety. As Mercer recovered, he knew that this confrontation was but one of many battles to come. The path to finding a cure, to restoring humanity, was fraught with danger and would require more than just strength and power. It would require resilience, compassion, and the willingness to face one's deepest fears. In the quiet aftermath of the battle, amidst the ruins that bore witness to his greatest challenge yet, Dr. Alex Mercer, now known to the world as ZombiGuardian, found himself at a crossroads. The confrontation with the Sovereign had not just been a physical battle, it had been a profound test of his moral and ethical boundaries. As he sat amid the crumbling remnants of a world that once was, Mercer contemplated the duality of his existence. The scientist in him, logical and rational, grappled with the reality of his extraordinary powers. The human in him, emotional and vulnerable, wrestled with the guilt and responsibility of the lives he could not save. His transformation had bestowed upon him a mantle he had not sought, yet could not refuse. The night sky, a tapestry of stars obscured by the smoke of recent conflict, served as a mirror to his thoughts. The isolation of his unique condition was palpable. He could walk among humans, yet he stood apart, changed in ways that went beyond the physical. The infected, too, were a reflection of his own internal struggle, a reminder of what he had become, and what he sought to protect humanity from. Mercer realized that his journey was not just about finding a cure for the infection, it was about understanding the essence of what it meant to be human. His powers, while setting him apart, also offered a unique opportunity to bridge the chasm between the infected and the survivors. In controlling the infected, he wielded not just a weapon, but a tool for understanding, a means to bring about a semblance of harmony in a world torn asunder. The emotional ties to his past, once perceived as weaknesses, now emerged as beacons of strength. They grounded him, providing a moral compass in a world where the lines between right and wrong were often blurred. His family, his friends, the memories of a life before the apocalypse served as reminders of what he was fighting for. But with great power came great responsibility. Mercer acknowledged the dangers of his dependency on the rare compound that maintained his sanity and strength. He recognized the peril and the overuse of his powers, understanding that the path to salvation lay not in dominance, but in balance. The challenge was not to control, but to coexist. In this moment of solitude, Mercer made a vow. ZombiGuardian would not just be a protector of humanity against the infected. He would be a guardian of all that remained of the human spirit, fighting not just for survival, but for the hope of a future where humans and the infected could find a new equilibrium. The battle against the Sovereign had been a catalyst, a moment of awakening. Mercer knew that his journey was far from over. There would be more challenges, more battles. But armed with a deeper understanding of his purpose, ZombiGuardian was ready to face whatever the future held, guided by the light of his own humanity.